A box of gloves. This is something used by every hospital in the United States. I'm looking for a volunteer. Sir, maybe? How much do you think this costs?
5 cents.
A little higher, a little higher.
10 cents.
Okay, good. The truth is 23 cents to $1.50. It's a problem that every hospital has in the market today, paying different prices for the same products. A box of these, $22 to $75. The cut-free, the fancy ones, anywhere from $38 to $135. You know, I've chosen a relatively easy example, but what about something like a pacemaker or maybe a knee implant? You can imagine the range of pricing on something like that. Clearly, one size does not fit all. But that's the thinking behind the current model for healthcare contracting. A group purchasing organization gets a group of hospitals together, they consolidate their volume, and they drive down prices on supplies. And honestly, it's been in practice for over 50 years. It's pretty successful even today. Membership is growing, capabilities are expanding, purchase volume is increasing. And that's where we like to say to defenders of the status quo, or hey, all is good here, nothing to see, move about your business. Our team, however, looked at it with a different light. What if a well-funded, technology-savvy company came into our business? How would they approach it? If you had to start it all over again, what would your approach be? So you have to start by looking, what are the limitations today? One is there's access to barriers to access this. There's a membership structure, so you have to be a member of a group purchasing organization in order to benefit from what they're doing. Similar in a consumer-driven model like Costco, you have to pay a membership fee. Second, in addition, contracts are awarded to a certain group of suppliers on 3-year terms. And those decisions on who those suppliers are done by a group, a select group representing the entire group. So not everyone gets to weigh in on that. So there's a bit of a lack of flexibility from a hospital standpoint. Third, suppliers are looking for commitments. If they go through that lengthy process to award a GPO contract, they want the hospitals to get that price and be happy with it. But often hospitals use that price as the beginning for negotiations. So they go through the same process over and over again. Fourth, process takes time. It takes resources. It's very manual, very Excel-based. And finally, let's get back to our glove example. There's a lack of transparency, as you can tell by the pricing charged on this today. Both hospitals and suppliers want rational pricing, and vice versa. So enter innovation. We took a fresh approach to this. And this is a model, again, that's been around for 50 years. We had 12 months to see if we could improve it. We started by putting a small team together. We then went out and recruited a small group of hospitals and suppliers to work in as a pilot program. We spent countless hours of research, WebEx, face-to-face meetings, usability testing. And then, thanks in part to my colleague Joel Denton, who's out in the audience today, we built an alpha technology program, or a minimal viable product. And on June 1st of 2012, we turned the keys over to our pilot participants and said, go do some contracts. And within 8 weeks, we'd done multiple contracts. Each hospital had achieved savings, and we had done those contracts in 33 days. So we feel like we've really revolutionized the whole process. And to us, those, especially me, those results were astounding. We're like, wow, there really is an appetite for innovation here, for change, in a model that's been around for so long. So what did we do? Well, first, we established a market. In a true principle of a market, it's open to anybody, any hospital, any supplier. We're eliminating the barriers to entry. 2, hospitals, because it is open, can choose from any supplier. So there's an element of flexibility. They can do all their business with one supplier. They can cut it up for 3 suppliers for 5 years if they want to. An element of flexibility in the contracting process. Third, the contracts are committed. Both parties up front understand that there's a good deal. They're entering a good business relationship. Fourth, we pre-populated the market with data. Data, very popular conversation today. But we put data into the market so that there's less pre-work, there's less manual work, there's more efficient process in going to bid. In other words, just more efficient. Just based on a pilot, it took us 33 days, where in today's model it can take 6, 9, even 12 months to execute contracts. So speeding access to value. And finally, this access to data tends to lend to an element of transparency. And that was something that's a core tenet of our organization. Being transparent with both sides. The sellers understand what is the potential of the hospital. What are they buying? What could they be buying? And then we measure the life of the contract. Similar on the buyer side, where's my opportunity? What's the full disclosure of the deal the suppliers are offering me? And then we also measure that for the length of the contract. Supplies are the second largest expense in a hospital, next to labor. And I don't know many CFOs who would start a cost reduction initiative by focusing on doctors and patient care. So for me personally, in our team, it was a challenge. You hear a lot that healthcare is 5 years behind everyone else. We feel like we've taken a significant jump forward with our approach. And why can't hospitals and suppliers leverage technology? Why can't they establish mutually beneficial relationships? Why can't they save millions doing it? And why can't you challenge the status quo? Well, you can, and we did. And we think we've reimagined and revolutionized a very critical component of the healthcare business. Thank you.